Hey guys, thank you for tuning in today. Welcome to my channel. Of course, for those of you who are new, I'm Brownie Smiles and this is Ebony Circle. I also have another platform, Anti-Girl Code, which you are free to visit. Today is going to be a topic that really needs to be clarified for the Black community or any other community that's copying this. The teen pregnancy epidemic. Now, there has not really, this is not the first time this has occurred with teens getting pregnant in high numbers, especially in low income communities. And it's not the first time that people were very hush hush about it or somewhat accepting of the epidemic, even though people were not necessarily okay with it. However, the difference from other generations in comparison to today, we have the internet. So we're able to formulate different ideas and mind frames about different topics a lot more quickly than before, since a lot of the ways that we would gain knowledge is through word of mouth or through education. Now, it's very different. You can still go to school and still hear from your friends and also go online and listen to strangers about their opinions on different things. Now, with teen pregnancy, the assumption used to be that it's not a good thing. Normally, people try to avoid leaving gray areas with situations like this because when things start to become a question and it's this level of seriousness, people begin to simply go with the answer that's easier to do, which is getting pregnant at a young age. Now, a lot of different opinions have circulated around this topic as far as how to address the problem. Should the teen mother be addressed about it? Should the parents be addressed about it? Should the father of the unborn child be addressed about it? Just different things of that nature. Now, depending on who answered the question, always leaves a certain emotion. When I was responding online towards this situation, the thumbnail is the picture that's online on Instagram right now that's currently gaining popularity. She is not 14 years old. She is 16 years old. Some people think that she's 14 weeks. Regardless of the issue with clarifying how pregnant she is, she's pregnant and she's a teenager and she doesn't care. And she's actually proud of it. And other people are defending this mentality behind this girl. I have a younger sister who is older than her, but did share a lot of the same mentalities as her. We had the same parents and we lived in the same household, but we did go to different schools and we hung out with different people, so we had different outlooks on society. I never had any teen pregnant friends, and if I did, I think I recall one. She had two daughters, actually. Her first one was when she was 17, I believe, and following that, she had one not too long after, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on, I'm potty training my child right now, and it has hit 30 minutes. You ready to potty? Yeah. Come on. Chan Smiles is learning the art of the toilet right now, guys. Hang on. Oh. See camera?
Camera?
Right there.
Camera.
See?
Yes.
Yeah, he's learning how to use the toilet today, huh? Yeah, he's learning how to use the toilet because mommy and daddy are tired of the diapers. And he is clearly old enough to make choices, as you can clearly hear. So now I'm going to, like I said, I want to start training him to learn how to use the toilet by himself. This is completely off topic from teen pregnancy, but at the same time, it's not. This may not be something that may not be in someone's agenda to understand how to learn, because a lot of people will instead encourage the girl to go through different government assistance programs just to get free stuff like diapers and supplies and shit, so she can lack the understanding of teaching her child to do things. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be people actually online that are going to watch this video and see him half naked, even though none of his personal areas have been exposed. Someone's going to have an issue with me doing a video about teen pregnancy while he's sitting on the toilet learning how to become a more mature child. It's hilarious. But let me know what you guys are doing as far as potty training with the children. He is very interesting. He knows how to hold his pee, and I'm still trying to figure out the timing. So once I establish that, then it may be easier for me. But I've been seeing online different people showing how they got their child to learn how to potty train at the same age, and they have sons too. So I'm going to attempt to get this done at least this week. I want to try and get it done by the end of this week, if not next week. I've tried before, but I wasn't ready to be consistent with him. So this time I'm going to be persistent. Now I see how other people are doing it and where I may have lagged and where I can improve. So now it's just a matter of waiting for him to tinkle and do other things in the toilet. So, but he has peed before one time in the toilet on his own. But I think I just simply had good timing that day. And we were going back and forth to the diaper all day that day. But after that, I was sick of it. So this time I'm going to have a timer, like you guys saw, to alert me, instead of using my own pituitary gland as the alarm clock, because that one starts to have issues. All done? You all done? All right. All right. You see his little A. Yeah. Yeah, he still has some liquid in there, but it's not that bad, so I'm not going to really pressure him like that. All I'm going to do for now, I've set his clock to 30-minute intervals to take him to the bathroom. And since, like I said, he already used the restroom today, he may or may not try to hold on to a little urine that's left in the system right now. I may have to give him a whole bunch of juice and water so he can be a little bit more encouraged to use the toilet or just release bowel. All done.
Okay.
Go play. Okay. Yes, I have a house, guys. Unlike SONCERAE. Anywho, back to the teen pregnancy conversation, since that completely veered the other way about potty training. The teen pregnancy shit, there's a very large mixture of reactions to it nowadays. There were three main reactions I've been seeing online. Number one, there was an account who felt that identifying the woman, or as in the teen mom, her role in the situation of her getting pregnant, opening her legs to get pregnant, learning about sex either through her friend or through sex ed, and then trying it frivolously, and as a result of having sex, she now is pregnant. No one wants to say how she led up to being pregnant now. No one wants to look at her and simply ask, why are you pregnant? Because apparently that's too hard of a question to ask nowadays. Instead, what this account suggested was that we should take a lot of the blame and put it on the father, which I find kind of strange, because it's not just one male student at the school. So it's not like you can just penalize the one boy. She probably was fucking more than one student. She probably wasn't just fucking students there. She was probably fucking boys everywhere. And that's normally a stigma. It's not about it being fiction or just trying to make it seem like all black teens are hoes. I'm not saying that, because we all know that not all black teens actually get pregnant. So I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about the ones who actually engaged and resulted. And with these people, they will have children at young ages, 16, 17, 18, 14, 15, even 19 is a very low age to begin having children. It's still teen in the goddamn phrase for the number. Your maturity level is not there yet in order to properly raise a child. Period. This girl just learned about sex ed, being aware of your hygiene and things like that. She doesn't even have a diploma yet, let alone a driver's license. Like, come on. It's not about bashing the female in the situation, and I feel like saying that is damn near a feminist protection card that women are trying to put out as a way to excuse the woman out of the situation, even though she's the one popping out the children, and she's the one putting the father on whatever assistance program, and she's the one raising these children to have the same exact mentality to keep on recycling this bullshit low quality thinking. So yeah, I'm going to actually point in the direction of the mother, the teen mother, and ask her what the fuck was she doing that shit for. She didn't have to. A lot of females do come from these generational whole cycles, and their mothers are sometimes teen parents or their grandmothers or whoever, and that's the only direct influence that they have. A lot of times they don't even have fathers in the house either, so they're only getting advice from their whole mama, who's still trying to maintain a penis. And this is why I was really serious about SONCERAE and her situation, because she was 19 when she had her first child, right? Now she's 37 or 36 or damn near fucking 40, and she's still in the same exact predicament as these teen parents, not having a place to go or an established place for her child and herself to be, that she financially maintains through whatever occupation that she does or does not have. She doesn't even have that. Teen moms do not have that. Teen moms do not have a sustainable father for their children to have either. SONCERAE does not have that for her unborn child. She loves to talk about how much of a great father her first baby daddy was to her now 19-year-old child, Dominique. But the type of mentality that you're instilling into your daughter with such a high quality father is for her to be fucked up towards other niggas that you, SONCERAE, come across. How does that make sense? I don't get how women will try and point the finger so hard at men. You got me pregnant. You put me in this situation. You did this. Even though you got pregnant at 19 and was likely saying the same shit. You got pregnant again at 36. And I know she got pregnant hella times in between these two, but we're just going to talk about the ones that she talked about online. You got pregnant again at 36. and she's still in the same exact predicament, asking for handouts. It doesn't matter if it's a government assistance handout or if it's if I sit on your dick, I get to stay here for the weekend, right? Type of handout. Again, this page, I don't give a fuck to try and defend these women. They aren't doing anything for me. They're not paying me. They're not doing shit for me. Period. My husband does shit for me. I don't need anybody to visit my channel and try and remind me that I'm a woman or that I should be a feminist. I'm not going to do either one. I already know who I am, and I already know who I'm defending. It's as simple as that. With these teen mom situations or these old ass hoes, the ones that have now been worn out since they were teens. SONCERAE has been getting that pussy worn out since she was a teen. It wasn't just, oh, I had sex one time and then I got pregnant and it just changed my life. No. This bitch was popping that pussy for free, for a meal, for fun, for anything. Her daughter is not any different. It does not matter how highly you would like to think of people, how much you would like to tell yourself that things are going to change with time. No, if the work is not being done for change, if no one is identifying these issues like teen pregnancy amongst our communities, no one is going to actually try and tackle the problem. Instead, people are going to try and go around it every single fucking time. Because every time we try and say, well, here's the root of the problem. No, well, I don't want to talk about that. No, let's not talk about that. That's what bitches do. When they know they're the culprit of the issue, no, you don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't want to hear it. No, that's not true. No. We can't even say for ourselves, whether it's SONCERAE's 37-year-old, damn near 40, pregnant, single, looking for dick, still ass, or for these younger broads who think that they're running game on the older females and men. A lot of lies that exist on Instagram is that people like to say they're successful. I've seen, even in some articles, that people will pay to sit on a private airplane for a few hours just to have Instagram photos or just to get likes on Instagram. So in other words, not everything on Instagram is as shiny and glittery as people try and make it. It's not. So when 16-year-old pregnant bitches come online and they like to say, I'm successful, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but you're looking through their account and you clearly see that that's some bullshit, but they simply said in their caption or their description on top in their bio that's not the case, but you clearly see that it is. People in their mind, it starts to, I guess, miss something. Even though it's clearly there in their face, we clearly see that this bitch is on welfare, government assistance, living with her mama, still going to school, probably don't even know who her baby daddy is. She just knows she's pregnant. She's sure about that. She can see that. But beyond that, it's crickets. It's just crickets. She's, oh, I'm successful. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. No, you're not. It's a yellow bus behind you. No, you're not. You don't have to lie. You're not the only teen bitch on here who's pregnant. And as a matter of fact, that actually reminded me of the celebrities who are still younger and they're getting pregnant too. The Kardashians, in particular Kylie. Now, even though she's not black, we all know how much of an impact the Kardashians have on the black community. So I'm not going to pretend and sit here like that's not the case. This white ass family is a family of swirlers, to be honest. So it's not like niggas are going to pretend that they don't know who these people are. I know men, black men, who are far from being gay that know that Kylie Jenner is pregnant. Or have read that somewhere online or was told that by their girlfriend at least 3 or 4 times. It's not a secret. It's damn near part of our culture to be aware of these kind of things going on with celebrities who don't give 2 fucks about us. But when you say things like that, no, again, people don't want to hear it. They don't want to be reminded of the truth. And the truth is this. These celebrities, again, do not give a fuck about us. Teen parenting is not anything cool. Net neutrality, having to pay for all types of services that we should have never had to pay for any fucking way, is not cool. It's not a way to try and flex money that you don't have to get into debt for the new year. All people are going to be able to celebrate is how much debt they don't have by the time 2020 hits. People aren't going to make any more money. People are going to be making a lot less money, I'll tell you that, from these new, stupid changes that the world is having, especially in America. America is going through so much bullshit, so much changes, so much confusion. We don't know where to complain. We don't know what to march about. We don't know what to protest. We don't know what to tweet about. People are just going insane everywhere. Yeah, but people still have the time to be hoes, though, which I find kind of funny. It's crazy. It is fucking crazy. And it's even funnier that now that normal people are starting to realize, this is also veering off from the teen pregnancy topic, people are starting to realize that they can make a lot of money by simply speaking online about their own personal experiences or their businesses and how they grow them or how they failed. And obviously, the people who own these companies like YouTube and Facebook or simply Google in general are fully aware that now they have to come directly out of pocket to pay for these faceless ass celebrities. YouTube has an entire studio just for people who get famous off of YouTube so they continue getting famous and getting paid from talking about whatever activities they engage in on a daily basis. And this would be as boring as Logan Paul and to as interesting to me as Neely Fuller. But Neely does not get the same attention that Peckerwood ass Logan Paul does. Even though the content is a lot more needed from Neely, but all people want to hear is this fucking dumbass, brainless noise from these kind of celebrities. People don't even play the radio anymore because they don't like to hear that shit. But then they go on YouTube and Blog Talk or SoundCloud or wherever the fuck they listen to music on, and they still continue to play more noise. It's just on a different app. But now they're going to change it to where if you want to listen to anything, whether it's noise or content, doesn't matter. Whether it's poison or constructive, you gotta pay. Now, people will probably already assume that we were already paying for the internet. No. That's not true. We weren't. People think that, having a phone bill is paying for the service of your phone. No, it's not. There's people who pay for their phone bill all the time, but then you can have unlimited data and then something comes up on your phone that says your data is running low. How the fuck is my data low if I have unlimited data? So then you have to go somewhere deep into your phone, the settings, to increase the data limits, even though you were already told upon purchasing the phone that this is never supposed to even occur. But you're looking straight at the screen and it's saying that this is occurring. Weird brain games that people like to play. Even with YouTube. YouTube has still technically 2 different apps. The YouTube Red and just a regular free YouTube app. I have the Amazon Fire Stick in my living room for live streaming. And since this week began, if I'm not mistaken, I have been receiving alerts directly from my Amazon Fire Stick that they're no longer going to be offering the YouTube app as a service for streaming whatsoever. Now, I don't know if that means that they are going to then only provide the pay option of YouTube Red, or if YouTube is simply not going to be available altogether on the Amazon Fire Stick. Not sure if it has anything to do with net neutrality or not, but I believe that it does. Most apps nowadays, if you wanted to like listen to anything, I recall Netflix was like one of the funnest apps to really hack in a way. I didn't really even know people to pay for Netflix like that, because when you initially signed up, you got the first 6 months free. You know, people didn't mind emails or whatever shit because people didn't pay for it. Same thing with Hulu. People weren't paying for it. It just didn't seem relevant or necessary to pay to watch a streaming service that's simply showing recycled shit. What's the point of paying for that? Now, in order for us to even wait 20 minutes in a goddamn waiting room or something for a doctor's appointment, if we want to do anything on our phones, really anything that isn't a video game or something like a text message, we have to pay for it. Even if you want to ride a bike, but you don't own a bike, but you want to rent a bike for a day, just for the purpose of either losing weight or doing something out of the norm, like you don't want to drive your car today, so you just want to ride a bike, you gotta pay. If you want to rent anything, or if you want to utilize any kind of anything, have a party at a park where no one is going to be, no one is ever here, you gotta pay for that time that you want to be there for, to reserve it if you have over a certain number of people, or if you're going to be there for a certain amount of time, or if you're going to use anything there that it's still going to be there after you leave, but you're using it. You gotta pay. This is the direction that society is going. I've seen even with technology advancements that because we're advancing so quickly, the jobs that people are fighting so hard to get minimum wage increased for are not even going to likely be available within the next decade, if not less. And that has a lot to do with us moving towards the technology world. So jobs like cashiers and being a waitress or a hostess, a dishwasher, construction workers, things that you will go on Indeed.com to apply for because it's just like a given, an easy way. It's just always been an available option for employment, are going to disappear with time. And people are going to have to figure out a different way to survive. And there's not going to be a lot of choices. So it's either you're going to be the elite or you're going to be the destitute. There's not going to be a middleman anymore. They're already trying to cut that part out. That's why they tax people in the middle income bracket so much. That's why they have that 10F line. So they don't have to address a very large number of the population that isn't necessarily high income, but isn't necessarily low income. So we're going to fuck with that group enough to where they're going to be either down there or up here. And the goal is to get them down there, since most of the shit that they have put out is for us to pay. You can't even use a Google speaker, you know, the Chrome shit, without having Wi-Fi. And if you have Wi-Fi, that means that you're paying for it, right? So in order to use a speaker, you gotta pay. This shit's fucking crazy. And I'm starting to look around at all the things that I have in my house that is not yet on this system of payment. And outside of my child's laughter, there's really not that many things considerable that I can do during the day that does not require me having to pull out my wallet. And call me cheap if you want to, but there's going to come a time when everyone is going to complain about having to pay for everything. Like, you're literally paying for everything. When you get into the car, you can't just get into the car. You have to make sure that you have an updated license, an updated registration, an updated car insurance. You got to make sure your tags are actually on there in case somebody wants to steal it the night before. It's way too much shit to take into consideration. You got to make sure that while you're driving, you're either driving according to the speed limit or slightly above the speed limit, if that's how all the traffic is driving. You also got to make sure you don't get pulled over, because if you do, you got to pay for that shit too. It's fucking crazy. Even just to maneuver around, I forgot, you got to have gas. Gas isn't free. To even get your car maintenancing is not free. If you buy a brand new ass car from a Honda dealership, for example, and they say, oh yeah, if you break anything on your car and if you have any trouble, you have your car fully covered for the next so-and-so years. You pop a tire, right? I just bought the car cash. I don't want to buy another tire. Just as an example. You take your car back to the Honda dealership and you say, hey, I just got this car. It is brand new according to what you guys told me, and it's not working. It already popped the tire. Haven't even drove the car a week. You think you can fix it? No. I thought you guys said that any issues in my car is going to be resolved. That is something that doesn't fall under our policy of issues. So now you gotta pay, right? So what starts off as, you know, you being fully covered is now you being kind of covered, or probably not even covered at all. Once you really start to dig into the holes that these companies create for us, that we all jump in and they watch us fall. I didn't know with insurance that if you have full coverage insurance, you don't have full coverage insurance. This shit's fucking crazy. For those of you who are considering buying a car and may not have had these kind of talks with anybody about what's actually necessary to buy a car, you think that you're about to go into a car dealership or buy something off of somebody and you simply just pay them cash for the vehicle and you leave? No. It's not that simple. It's never that simple. It never is. These stupid ass systems that they have set up for us is designed for us to fail or fuck up or end up in debt. There's plenty of people who aren't in debt. There's a lot more who are. Or are approaching that. One fuck up. One day of not being at work. Just one mistake can happen and all their shit's gone. People thought before they were living paycheck to paycheck, this is a whole other level. And we have people who actually don't have children, who actually went through the whole college, got a degree, got a real job, or tried to get a real job and become successful, and shit just simply doesn't work out. And you go online and you see all this bullshit about, well, sorry it didn't work out for you, but by the way, by the time this and this happens, this and this is going to happen too, and it's going to directly affect you. Oh, and here's the other demographic of people in your neighborhood who doesn't give a fuck and how they spend their days. And one of the ways that we waste our time in the black community is by getting pregnant by random people. We women get pregnant by random people. You can say men impregnate random bitches, but who do they impregnate again? We still have to recognize our role in this situation. And if we don't, we're never going to resolve the problem. Never. There's issues going on amongst ourselves that need to seriously get handled. Because we have bigger, more expensive problems that are directly also going to affect us. That we're not going to even notice is going to hit us until it's too late. Because we're too busy bickering with each other. We're too busy deciding, is teen pregnancy a good thing or a bad thing? We're still deciding, is obesity a good thing or a bad thing? We're still deciding, is having children out of wedlock, being the only parent in the house, the mom, and not having a father for your children to call dad or to see as a father figure or to have that masculine side available to them, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's so hard to ask, should a child have a father? Because women know what they do. Women know how much mind games they play. Men play mind games too, but bitches play a whole other ass game. Especially community people. Have to figure out a way in order for us to improve what the fuck we have going on. And we cannot do it by continuing to have kids at young ages, by continuing to raise them to believe that entertaining your time with partying and drinking and drugs and quavo is going to be the best outcome of your life. We can't keep thinking this shit. We can't keep on putting up all these celebrities that are high on drugs and extremely young and believe that our children is not going to try to do the same exact thing. We cannot keep putting all these dances out thinking that they're going to come out college students. We can't. It's so much brain cell killing going on the internet. You can't even pinpoint the source. It's so much coonery going on the internet. You can't pinpoint the source. I cannot tell you how many platforms I've seen online that has thousands, if not millions, of followings because they bash black people, specifically black men. I've seen black faggot men go online talking shit about other black men, praising hoes. And they're supposed to represent our community? I don't think so. They don't represent me. I don't understand how do we keep getting to these points in society where we have to literally dig into our history to understand how crazy we've got. I don't get why you have to have all these different scenarios for people to understand the simple concept that a teenager is not ready to become a parent. Why do we have to keep on repeating these things? Why are our grandparents not repeating these things anymore? What the fuck is going on in the community to where people are now finding this shit acceptable? And as a matter of fact, somebody tried to say that white children are teen parents too. Are white children living in the same predicament as the black children getting pregnant? Are white children receiving the same financial assistance as these black teen parents are? Are these white children boasting about their pregnancies online like these black children are? Are these white children receiving any kind of understanding or reflection of their decisions, which they are, by the way, unlike the black kids? We want to equate the two, but they're not equatable. They're not. They're not. We're all Americans, so we were raised on the same grounds. But we're not all white. So we were not raised on the same grounds. Do you understand? The shit does not apply to everybody. If a white bitch gets pregnant, she's not going to get the same treatment as a black female. She's not. If a white bitch gets pregnant, she's sick. She's fine. She's getting paid. Fuck the meth heads and shit. We're talking about the ones that we see on TV. We're talking about the ones that are put in our faces, in our children's faces, on Front Street. They are fine. These black hoes, on the other hand, what always ends up being their predicament? Where do they always end up? What job do they always end up taking their clothes off for by the time they hit 21 because nobody else will hire them, or they have too much of an attitude or whatever to sustain a regular job? Let's really be real about these situations. White women actually have a safety net. Bitches don't. From the black community, we don't. We still expect respect from men. after we spent all of our teen years and probably our second round after that in our 20s, spending all our time and all our pussy on random ass men, whether it's for free, for rent, for whatever. We sing about it in the songs, so we can't get mad if a man says, I don't want you because you're a whore. Not all women engage in whole shit. But if you are somebody who is singing along with these whole songs, defending along with these teen pregnancies, and simply not speaking out about it when the time is there to do so, you're not wife material. You're not. You're not. If you don't mind demeaning a man in his face, saying shit like, well, it's the man's fault the girl got pregnant. Which man? If it wasn't him, it could have been somebody else. If it wasn't him, it could have been somebody else. If it wasn't him, it could have been somebody else. As a matter of fact, some of these girls who do end up having children when they're young end up having a lot of kids when they're young. And normally they're not by the same person. They're normally by people. So are we still going to continue to blame the man every time? Because now we're not blaming a man. We're blaming men for this one female's decision in the series of children that she has following behind her. How embarrassing is that? For real. This shit is crazy that people are really backing up whole shit. And if their child were to engage in it, we're supposed to coddle them and say it's okay and just try to figure out a way to silently say that this is a mistake. Why? We all know that the child fucked up. The child knows that they fucked up. That's why they wait so long to say that they're pregnant, because they know that that was not something they were supposed to be doing. We all know that. We need to figure out a different way for our community to be a lot more persistent with these real issues going on. Black males and black women. But again, black males being feminized, black females becoming pregnant, or also becoming studs, single motherhood, all this shit needs to be addressed properly. Everybody needs to take accountability for their roles. Everybody. Including the teen mom. Even her mom needs to take responsibility for her lack of awareness over her child's activities. Simple as that. You can't say, well, what about her dad? Because the dad's normally not around. Because of the mom. It's not because they don't want to be. It's because of the mom. These are generational hoes being produced. This cycle of thinking is being recycled into the kids. You're tainting the children. That's all that is. A child having a child. We remember these damn phrases. Why are we now being surprised or trying to act like there's nothing wrong with it? Why are we dismissing this bullshit? This is crazy. Now, black women will sit around and observe our younger fellow black sisters, our fellow queens, remember, engage in these activities that they know is going to fuck them off for a very long time. We are more than certain that they're either going to end up on welfare or end up in a very deep rabbit hole that they don't understand because they're still a teen and they weren't supposed to be pregnant, so they shouldn't ever have to be told certain things. But instead, we allow them to make the mistake. We allow them to walk down this road of stupidity. We allow our people to be raised to fail. We allow it to happen. There's a reason why people are not trying to get married. It's a reason why you don't hear little girls say, I can't wait to find my prince or my king or whatever. It's a reason why people are not doing that shit anymore. It's a reason why we're not projecting these positive images of fathers and married mothers in our communities. It's a reason. And if we want to keep on deflecting, then shit's going to continue getting worse. And if I'm not mistaken, the new way of sexual interaction amongst the elite community is bestiality. And that's with animals. Fucking animals. And if they're not doing that, then they're engaging with having sex with robots or with blow-up dolls. We all know about this shit. And although a result of a child would not happen from those two methods, other shit can occur that's still just as crazy. It's fucking crazy. It's insane. We can't even tell our kids while they're still having sex with people to stop having sex with people. So now it's going to take them to have sex with animals and with robots to say, okay, wait. Now you're going crazy. But I wasn't going crazy when I was doing all that shit with the dudes, right? But now it's crazy because you don't want people to know that your kids are having sex with foreign objects, literally. People don't understand how deep this rabbit hole is going to go within the next 20 years. And no one wants to hear it because the shit sounds crazy and they don't ever bother to look into these kinds of predicaments, social construct, nothing. All they get in their normal search engine or in their daily activity has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with this realm of understanding. It's not supposed to. If everybody was aware of this kind of shit, of what direction this bad way of thinking can go, no one would actually do it. And they would have to figure out a different way from the elite society to fuck us over. Right now, they're doing a great job. No one's paying attention. People who are trying to blow the whistle on these kinds of mental failing, we get blocked. We get shut down. We get removed. We get flagged by our own fucking niggas. And no one ever actually knows the truth until it's too late. People will wait for things to get completely blown over and fucked up and simply just, it's unable to return or even, it's just gone. That's what people want to say, oh, I understand now what they were saying. No. It's too late now. We were trying to warn you before. The news even kind of hints at it sometimes. I've seen white women in a delivery room. This white lady, it was on the news. When she had her baby, she had a giraffe mask on. In the labor and delivery room. The first face that the child remembered to be its mom was a giraffe's face. Even worse, since that one is a little far-fetched for some people to understand at this time, because bestiality is not something that's that prominent yet. It will be. There's even shit being shared around on Instagram, and I don't know why the fuck it keeps coming up in my search because I talk shit about it every time, and I end up getting blocked off of Instagram. Transgender relationships. I saw yesterday, it was a woman, but she had already gone through the hormonal treatments to where her phenotype here was of a man. She had the facial hair, her body type was kind of pudgy, probably because she was pregnant, also because of the hormones and how her body reacted to it. She looks like a man, but she's pregnant. It's ridiculous. When people tell me that they feel like a man or they feel like a woman and their birth certificate is telling me and everybody else otherwise, and then they turn around and do shit like this, that shit confuses the fuck out of me. Because if you're saying that the purpose of your body should not be to reproduce in the way that you were born to reproduce by, So for a woman, that would be by conceiving this way, or for a man, that would be sending out that way. I'm completely confused because the baby is going to be born and staring at this man in the eye, understanding weirdly that's the mom, but also still trying to figure out other things. When that child becomes older and the child starts looking in baby books of their parents and they start to understand this weird transition, because white people don't mind explaining what the fuckery they do, the child is going to have severe identity problems. Just severe. Severe. It's one thing to not have a father in the household. It's another thing to have two fathers in the household. It's really another thing to have a mom and a dad in the household, but the mom is also your dad. That's quite a combination, don't you think? Because then, again, it then poses the question, well, how did you guys conceive if the impression is that the woman has a penis, right? Unless they didn't change that part, knowing that they would want to have kids in the future. So I guess she didn't fully feel like a man if she knew what she was capable of doing. And shit just baffles me. But I would love for somebody to clarify this shit to me about the transgender parents and then producing children, the hetero, because I understand. I've seen people explain on Instagram ways for transgender boys to change their pads during the cycle. Why the fuck are they bleeding? Down there. If they already have a surgical procedure to receive a vagina, right? That does not mean that now their pussy or their mutilated penis is going to bleed every month by default. That's not what it means. So what do you have to do? Or what medicine do you need to take that's going to hurt your body to cause it to release blood every month? What mind games are you forcing yourself to engage in to make yourself feel like something you're not? Help me understand. These things, to me, when I was younger, I never would have known what the fuck a transgender was. The closest I ever got to that was like cross-dressing in movies. Like in The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler and Tracy Morgan, you know, them, the cheerleaders. And that was the closest I ever got to a trans. But they weren't trans. These are niggas, right? In jail. So they knew who they were. And once they got out, they went back to being straight. It was no secret. Everyone's seen the prison shit. Everyone's seen the South Park episode of New Booty and, you know, good. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. People have seen this shit. So people are aware of it. But it has now been taken to an entirely new level with cutting the dicks off and women trying to now get penises, and still for some reason they want to be parents so they can continue this lineage of confusion through their kids. Help me understand. Hi, I would rotate it. However, if I rotate it, it's not... Here's the thing. My phone is a weirdo. Since I'm recording from my phone already, it's not going to... let me see if it responds. Let me know if it rotates correctly. Because it's still locked on my screen. It's telling me to still rotate my device back to this way. So that's why I have it this way, hoping that it's going to show differently for you guys, but stupid ass technology again. But thank you for tuning in anyway. This shit's fucking ridiculous. But still, it's just a lot of bullshit that's going on amongst the black community. And teen pregnancy is still a very touchy topic. However, we have very heavier topics that we now have to deal with because white society is right. I tried. I'm not. You saw me just try to do this shit. White society is encouraging us to do stupid ass shit. Period. It's no way around it, and we are falling for it, just like we used to as slaves. We just go along with it because it's just whatever Matthew says. This shit's fucking crazy. And I wish people would stop encouraging their kids to engage in this kind of shit, knowing what possibilities of failure they will have because of the amount of confusion that we are embedding into our babies. It's ridiculous. When I'm one of those like natural people and trying to figure out different ways to keep my mind calm. So I just started growing plants and reading or whatever. I don't add anything to my plants. Normally people will, provide like the little protein sticks and, put whatever concoction their grandma told them to put on into their shit. I don't do that. This is my babies. This is one of them. All they get is sunlight and water. And now, today, they're getting wind. Here's my bigger one. His ass, or her ass, I'm not sure of the genders yet, but you already know what the goddamn plan is. I'm not gonna say it, it's obvious. My husband suggested I start the damn plants outside, and I didn't listen because I didn't feel like going outside every fucking day. And I thought it was simply easier for me to have them in the same environment, doing the same things every day, so they understand, what I want them to do in this window, which is simply grow. And I have a total of 5. I have 2 growing right now outside, and those recently rooted, so I'm not going to have to keep on taking them in and out worrying about the wind because they actually were raised outside. These are raised inside, so they're going to require a lot more direct care if I want to transition them out there. The stem on this one is a bit long, so it's already having trouble sustaining the wind. So that's why it has that Q-tip attached to the stem, so it can still exist in this natural habitat but not break the fuck off and piss me off and I'm just gonna go insane. So there's that. Completely off tangent again, but I don't care. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about anyway, since I kind of develop my topics based on the bullshit that's going on online, on YouTube or on Instagram or even in the news. But nonetheless, I appreciate everyone who comes in to listen, and also my new subscribers. Thank you guys, everybody. You really make my days. So, I just lost the connection again, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. So I'm going to get off. Thank you guys for visiting. You guys have a great day. Share with me if you're growing the same kind of plants I am. And any suggestions that you may have as far as keeping them strong while they're still young. Strengthening the damn stem. Like, my husband said that shit. This is like my smallest one in here that's indoor. And I think I might let him go outside, or her. I might, because it's still short and the stem is still wider than this one. So it may be able to sustain the wind a lot better, but I don't know for sure. But I guess I'm just going to figure it out with time. I want to keep you guys updated on the plants if you even give a fuck about them. And you guys can pick a name or whatever if you want. I don't care. They're just fucking plants. But yeah, again, thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, since some people have those too, fuck you. Nonetheless, go ahead and leave it in the comments section below. And also be sure to check out my husband's channel on Rahoa News 1, Mr. Banks, of course. And I also have my own other channel, Anti Girl Code. Same stuff, different day. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.